Hey yo, welcome to my channel. I'm really happy to have you here. My name's Keon and I'm going to be drawing today some scenes from the 1975 film Jaws. And the reason I want to do that is because Jaws is one of the most influential and just amazing just really good movies that for me represents the quintessential summer blockbuster, which is a category of film that I really love because I love summer and I love feeling like I'm living summer. I say this obviously while sweating quite a bit in my closed off little room, but it's fine because you take the good and the bad. Anyways, so I'm really excited to be drawing these scenes. And meanwhile, I'll kind of tell you a little bit about the movie and what happens and what happened off screen. And I hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. So I'm just gonna start with some pretty sketchy, fast scenes from the film. Obviously, it's about a shark, and the shark kills people. This film opens up on a woman swimming alone in the ocean late at night. Or I think maybe at sunrise, and she's just having a good time until a shark comes along. The next day her body is found, kind of torn to shreds, and the detective in charge, or I guess he's the police chief in charge, he comes and decides, okay, we're gonna close the beaches, logically. But he's kind of met with some opposition to this idea. The mayor of the town decides that no, you shouldn't close the beaches because obviously it's like a tourist town and that's where the town's money comes from. People coming to the beaches. So in this scene, he's kind of just telling him, no, keeping him open. We're gonna keep those beaches open. And he seems like a nice guy, but he's kind of one-track minded. He doesn't really care that much about the shark attack. And he thinks, it's probably going to be fine. But of course, it's not going to be fine. The cool thing about this movie, I would say, is the use of tension. I was really nervous throughout the entire movie. And as you may know, special effects in the 70s were not where they are today. And the few times that you do actually see the shark, which I think was like an animatronic shark, it's pretty unimpressive. It looks pretty fake, but I think because they actually had some like technical difficulties with the shark, like it was malfunctioning or something, they ended up not using it a lot. And so a lot of what happens is implied rather than shown, and that builds a lot of tension. And this scene is right after police chief has been told to leave the beaches open, but he's nervous and he's at the beach watching over everyone, trying to make sure, I don't know, trying to make sure no one gets killed, but at the end, they do. A little boy gets killed. So there's kind of like a witch hunt. People put out like a bounty on the shark, and a shark is found and killed. But unfortunately, it's not the right shark. But this is kind of a moment where people are kind of like, yeah, it's over, and they're happy, only for their dreams to be crushed. Because marine biologist shows up and he's looking at the shark and he's kind of like, I don't think this is the shark. It's too small. So eventually we have more shark attacks, but this time it's almost the chief's son who gets killed. And so now it's personal, and he decides, you know what, I'm gonna go out on the water with this captain, this shark hunter, and this marine biologist, and we're gonna catch this thing together. And it's kind of like an odd pairing or match for the three. They don't really have a lot in common, and they butt heads a lot in the beginning. And the rest of the movie is basically set on the water while they're trying to hunt this thing. The captain of the ship is basically obsessed with sharks. He tells this story about how he was on the USS Indianapolis, I think it was, which was like an infamous ship where a bunch of people got eaten by sharks, like soldiers. And this guy actually gets eaten by a shark, the captain, which is kind of, well, could have been avoided, I guess. But anyways, yeah, the shark sinks the boat and eats this guy. And the marine biologist goes down in a cage to try to poison the shark. That doesn't work. And the boat's like pretty much almost underwater. And the chief of police is like, I don't know what to do, but he's got the shark attacking him. And he finds like this oxygen tank that he like shoves in to his mouth and then shoots. And then, yeah, the boat goes underwater, but the shark explodes. And at this point, the chief of police is like, I must be the only survivor. So sad, but also happy about the shark. And just then, the marine biologist comes back up from underwater, and he's like, I'm alive. And he's like, where's the captain? And the guy's like, nah, he's dead. But they don't really care that much. They don't seem to mind, because they're really happy that they're alive and the shark's dead. And that's how the movie ends. They paddle back together to shore, and they're like, yay. Anyways, I'm not doing it justice. You really should just watch it for yourself. It's a great movie. It's great summer energy, and it's good for a hot summer night with maybe a glass of iced tea and some popcorn. Anyways, this was kind of a nice, fun little exercise. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one.